Alright, hey guys, this is Turok. Camera's here. And today's I'm going to review the chapter 1133 of One Piece. Get your tissues out for this one. It's going to be a good one for that in that way. I can't wait for this to be in the anime. It'll definitely make us cry. It's for Robin and Saul. And so in the last chapter, in the last chapter, the Straw Hats had reunited. Sorry, I got my mic over here, but the Straw Hats reunited, and finally, with the how should I say that? The second half. I'm gonna use it too because Oda purposely split the Straw Hats, where it was the ones who got captured by Roto were the first six. Is that right? Wait, Luffy, Nami, Zoro, Sanji, Usopp, and Chopper. Yeah, the first six were caught by Roto, and then the other four, which would be Robin, Jinbei, Brook, and Frankie. Yeah, we're still on the Great Eric, and because the what we found when the while the others were trying to escape from Roto, and when the other four were looking for Luffy and the others, they got the new issue of the paper, and Vivi cleverly did something on there, get a message to the Straw Hats, but the other four won't know what that is, didn't recognize it, because it was a message that it was the X on their arm that Vivi and the others had used to secretly hide it in their arm. I think they wrapped it too, so it was a way to make sure that Bon Clay didn't trick one of them into trying to take them out during their mission to stop the Baroque works from their destroying Alabasta. So while that was happening, the others escaped Roto. Luffy met Loki and made a deal, and then they got back together, met Stevenson and the other ones. Some of them first they met Goldberg and what's her name, Gerd, and the others Haruden and Stanson. I think it's Stanson, not Stevenson. I think that's another type of Scandinavian name, but I think it's Stanson for him. They had caught a moose from the underworld, and they're gonna prepare for a feast in honor of Luffy's and the others' arrival. And then we had also got to see a little bit about this ability they have, this technology or magic. I think it's magic. They call it drawing rainbows. They can make these tangible rainbows that are they ride up as a bridge from the shore to the second level of the tree, where they called it the sun level, and there's a heaven level above, which we haven't learned anything else about that yet. Sure we will. Maybe that's like a holy place. I was thinking too before it was like maybe where the royal family is. And then Roto finally got his comeuppance, and we'll see a little bit more. Yeah, Goldberg and Gerd found out about his little creepy project and gave him what he deserved. Something funny I didn't notice. This is why I don't say this again. Briefly, I don't watch other reviewers until I do mine. And then I do miss stuff, and they bring it up. The funny thing was when Gerd and Goldberg caught up to the Straw Hats. Luffy and Usopp ran ahead to go because they realized they're finally at Elbaf and they want to see it because they've been waiting for so long, over 2 years. I'm going to say like 2.5 years, because all the traveling, you got to take into account the traveling that Straw Hats doing. They went to, they were at Little Garden relatively early in the first half of the story. I estimate that from the time Luffy started his journey until Marineford, that may have been up to 6 months of traveling and other stuff that they were at different locations during that part of the story. So I'm going to say at least 2.5 years. Plus, now they've been traveling again since they left Fishman Island, or even Sabaody. Then they're in Fishman Island. Now been traveling to all kinds of other locations. And this is going to get close to a 3-year journey by the time like we get to Laftel. I'm thinking since Luffy started this journey. Anyways, yeah. So Luffy, when they ran off here, the funny part I didn't catch is that Gerd, when she wanted to help carry, when she picked up the other Straw Hats, Sanji, Zoro, and Luffy, not Luffy, Sanji, Zoro, Chopper, and Nami, she put them on her bosom. That's why Sanji was so happy. I think I just commented like, oh, she's holding them in their hands, and like they probably like, I can't have the camera in front of her, kind of like this, just walking around. But she set them on her bosom, and she has a shirt that's open fairly well, where you can see some of her cleavage. And that's why Sanji was really excited there. And we got to see this one village, and it ended though with this weird silhouette of a character that's probably the same one that we saw. Yeah, it's probably the one we saw like about 8 chapters ago that was saying "come" or something mysterious like that. And I don't know, some people, I don't know, I was thinking it looks like Kappa, or Kamawatsu. That's his real name, I think. The silhouette reminded me of Kamawatsu, one of the Red Scabbards, because he had the long hair and he has a hat on, and this silhouette looks similar to that. But I know Tekking had a video like he thinks it's Shiki, likely Shiki, one of the big head, but well, you don't know about that because Shiki was in that one movie, and I haven't seen it, and he probably was thrown back in. He's probably supposed to be in Impel Down, but a lot of Blackbeard freed some of the people from Impel Down's level 6. So I don't know. I've gone on long enough. So the Straw Hats are reunited. So the other 4 were on the ship, and they arrived at the village just as Goldberg and Gerd brought the others. Well, how did they do that? Yeah. Oh, Sanji and Luffy. Like, yeah, Luffy and Usopp went there themselves. Let's try this again. My sinuses are really acting up. Whenever I talk too much, I don't know why it's like that. So this chapter is called Praise Me. I guess we should go over the cover story a little. We find this freaking dork from what was the town called in Wano? But this is back with Yamato, and the dickhead Hold'em returns in the story. He was the one that had Otama. No, it's Otoko, I think. And he wanted to try and figure out the secret of her devil fruit power. And he got defeated. How did that happen? So Luffy was sumo wrestling that big guy in the ring who wanted to marry the other scabbard. I forget her name. And he got crushed by the Luffy had Gear 3rd, that big sumo guy, and it sent him so flying he crushed Hold'em in his headquarters in that town. He's here. I'm guessing he's supposed to be the one behind these kidnappings we've been following in this story. We see he's caught up. He's ambushed. He took out that one girl. There's that centaur girl who is as Toko, essentially Toko's mother now. We see her on the ground, injured, and Hold'em's got Otoko, and Yamato's facing him down. So we have a reunion of those two, Otoko and Hold'em. He's an asshole. A petty asshole, though. Remember, as soon as Kaido went, I was rewatching it the other day, that episode. As soon as Kaido came, Hold'em thought it was because he was going to execute, Kaido was going to execute him. So, that's where we're at with that. So I didn't want to get into this now. So, we get into a bit of a flashback here, and there's others here too. I think this is a very sad way they started, but it's an important context. So we go back to after the Ohara incident, we see what's his name? Spandam? Not. It's the father of Spandam. I had his thing. Yeah, Spandine. So he was part of the O'Hara incident. He went there. He worked for the World Elders, the Five Elders, and he killed Clover on the orders of one of them. Was that Saturnus did it? Because Clover was trying to defend what they were doing there about the research in the ancient kingdom. What he didn't understand was that they already know about it and are trying to cover it up. That's where we first started getting that kind of understanding that there's some shit going on with the world government that's more than just how they they're covering up stuff. And the Cipher Pole are their weapon against that, especially. Marines are too. And it starts here, anyways, with what's happening here is we find out how that Spandam, maybe the World Elders had this as an idea. They have him speaking to reporters to defame Robin when she was little because she escaped. And he's talking about it, and he's putting on an act about how traumatized he is about it. He's like, oh, that sends a chill down my spine. Oh, those poor citizens that got destroyed in that ship that escaped. That was the one that Akainu did. He was, I forget what rank he was back then, not an admiral yet. But he's there. So we see Spandam inside a room speaking with several reporters, and he keeps talking about all the terrible screams. I heard all that death and destruction. I'll never forget it. And so he wants to say something about Robin being a culprit behind this, because then one reporter saying, "Oh, that was Nico Robin doing too. She's so terrible." And Spandam, that's where Spandam uses this line. That's just a demon disguised as a kid, which is the name they have for her. So like on her wanted poster, she's Demon Child Nico Robin. They'll have like a little. Some of them have a different title like that. Zoro still called the Pirate Hunter because he used to be a bounty hunter as a profession before he joined Luffy. So this must have been at Marineford. Okay, it looks like that was Marineford. They had come. The reporters came there. That's probably what he was working to. That's probably he's head of Cipher Pole 9, so it's probably that makes sense. So he's going on saying, yes, don't ever tell the whole world the truth about that incident. It's so terrible, it traumatized children. So he's saying, yes, we have to, if you see her, just do not engage, just report it. So we see a shot, though, of like Cipher Pole agents going out with guns, like they're probably going to go being deployed to search for her. This was the beginning of her 20 years of like hiding from the government. Eventually, she it'd be 8 years ago now. I think she joined up with Crocodile, and he kept her protected. And she was living out her days at his place and acting as an agent too to help his goals, but really to help her goals to get to the poneglyph that is safely in the tombs of the Alabasta. And so we get a little shot here where she's hiding in some other island, and this woman who saw her reports Robin and said, yeah, that culprit who committed all those crimes, I found her. I saw her today. And so then we get several little shots again of Robin when she's hiding around. We see her like packing up a little bag. We see her living on the streets she's in a shop where she's probably eating garbage food or something, old food. She's there with like a poor stray dog. And you can see in that area, there's some place she's hiding out during winter. She's got this raggedy coat on and everything. I was seeing some of that stuff where she had to really hide and survive, especially as a child, because she was 8. And what was the thing? Like sometimes she would try to take up work on shifts, but then if they knew who she were, they weren't going to take her. There was all kinds of stuff like that she had to go through. Then they continue on with this thing too about, she may look like a scholar, but she's no human. She has no emotions. I like that they're calling back to this, because I always saw this nice parallel how with her and Ace, and how they both suffered so much as a kid. In this way, Ace obviously lived a slightly better life. He spent most of his days in the jungle, hanging out, getting away from Dadan. But both of them had to suffer this emotional trauma of being cascaded as terrible people. Ace, it was a little, I guess you could call it slightly indirect, because no one knew Roger had a kid. But everyone talked so much shit about Roger in the same way as Robin, really. So Ace always felt this, like, oh, I'm the son of a demon, a terrible person, and everyone hates him. And Robin went through quite a bit similar stuff here. Of course, she was on the run. And yeah, they even have some points, though, where other people are, like, not running for her. Like, these are probably like pirates or bandits. Like, oh my God, she has a high bounty like that? Let's go out there and find her. And don't feel sorry for her. And yeah, we continue a few more the other shots here where she's out one night in the streets raining, and she probably just can't find somewhere to rest. And people are talking about, oh, she has such strange abilities. Just probably when somewhere in the blues, because a lot of people outside the Grand Line don't take Devil Fruit's power seriously. They don't know about them. They would think most people who have those end up going to the Grand Line to seek their fortune. So we continue seeing some shots like that. We see these scared and angry citizens who have fallen for the bullshit. I mean, I can't blame them to some degree, but the one with the angry woman and baby, kind of like, oh my God, my baby's not going to be saved until she's gone. And you got the scared old man. And, some of them are like, you hear some lines where, like, they're probably public outcries, like, we got to put an end to this monster quickly, Marines. She's an enemy of the world. So they really believe in this, the peace that the world government brings along, too. And we got that one scene, was that somewhere back on Harlem? Maybe that was a scene where she was considering ending her life? Yeah, it probably is. I don't remember that one, but it looks like there's a scene where she's at a cliff there, where she's remembering what her mother Olivia said about living. And then the part 2 where Saul says to her before she left someday you will meet friends. Okay, yeah, she's over at an ocean cliff. That looked like fire. I thought she was at O'Hara. Oh, that was water he was drawing. And she's talking to herself at this moment. This is when she's still a child, so you can see she's quite little. But how she's saying to Saul, the world's so scary. And it's so painful. And so she's remembering the last thing Saul said about how to laugh to O'Hara. They show O'Hara there, okay. And then you see some other shot again when she gets caught. She's trying to hide by, she's wearing like that raggedy coat there, and then you see someone had caught her there at one point. Oh, and they're showing the map where, like, the map's erasing where O'Hara was. They erased it. Yeah, I bet this is going to play some really sad music. And we see another part where she's running again. And the kids continue on, like how you're a horrible person, you should just go die, and all this kind of stuff. So they're just refreshing our memory with all this sadness, the struggle she had to go through, and her trying to remember the words of Saul and Olivia to try and push on. And now we end that, and we get back to the present point, right where we left off the last chapter, with the Straw Hats. And, wait, which one, which again? God dang it. I keep getting those two names mixed up. Dory and Broggy. Who's who again? I gotta make a little thing with them, because I get them messed up so bad. Come on. Alright, Dory, right. So, it's Dory. Come on. So Dory is like announcing arriving at port, and I guess I wonder if that's like saying it to like the people there. Yeah, they're screaming out there, and we see them coming up to a dock right near this rainbow cloud, and we see that a crowd of other people are coming. When I say people, I mean the giants, though, are coming back and cheering them on, like, "Welcome back! It's great to see you." And they were worried because you're late. Well, it was harder. It took longer than I thought to. Wait till the tales they have to tell those people. We went to Elbath and the humans were Buster calling in. We had to fight a giant spider and a giant other shit that was out there trying to kill the Straw Hats. It's a strange world out there. And so when they land here, they're not on water. They're actually on clouds again, kind of like the sky clouds. I guess they call it ocean clouds here, but I'm thinking it's like the sky clouds, like Luffy and Usopp were climbing on earlier. And we get the Straw Hats reaction here, the ones on the ship, plus there's Lily and Bonnie, and they're just like, oh my god, this is just so much to take in. Holy crap. Also, I think it was mentioned somewhere that Lilith had been here before. I know Vegapunk Stella went here to read through the library, the Ohara library that Saul's protecting, and I think the others could have been there, because she mentioned too about the how the rainbow. She seemed to have, she has seen that rainbow that they conjured before. Okay, so here. How are they doing? Okay, so you get the others all reactivate. What's here coming in? Okay, so the others are coming in. And okay, so we get something new here too, how way they traverse around. We see the smaller ship that the kind of rowboat. It's kind of like a long ship style though. That Harudin's group is riding, but they got these clouds attached to the oars, and it allows them to float in the air. And they're bringing it. They're descending down with it. And as they explain, it's called a Slavar, or is that S silent, which stands for mist ship, and it moves with the buoyancy of cloud. Yeah. And the others are like, wow, this place is just have so many amazing things. And so we have why are they saying the climate within Elbath is perfect perfect for this stuff. Then the Lilith is explicit, is like, oh, island clouds and ocean clouds. Okay, they called that ocean cloud, I think, before, so that's different than the island clouds, right? Yeah, ocean clouds. And she's talking about how that and the rainbows and the other stuff, they all can coexist together. So I'll probably get some more exposition. Maybe she'll help explain other stuff about this technology or magic they're using. And so Harudin saw the other Straw Hats except Luffy and Usopp. And he's like, "Oh, you guys, I see you now. You're here." And we're getting all the little reuniting conversations. So like Nami and Robin are talking to each other, and Nami's complimenting Robin's haircut. And then Luffy's like, "Oh, Harudin, it's been a while," and we get the new giant pirates all together here, and Harudin's holding them up. Oh no, Gerd's holding some too. They're holding them together so they can have a conversation, and then they can join in instead of like having to bend down while the Straw Hats are on the ground. The two of them are holding the Straw Hat crew up. And you got Stanson and Gerd and Goldberg there. I'll get to someone else in a minute. And Harudin's complimenting them. Like, oh, I heard about your breakthrough and announcement that you're a Yonko. And he said, this is my crew. I'll introduce you properly to them later. But they're my crew of the new giant pirates that are now all your subordinates. And Luffy's like, oh, stop that. I don't want to have subordinates. And Harudin's like, oh, that's fine, but we still are. I want to do that. I have to interject something there. Like, why can't Harudin say, okay, we'll be like your alliance, we're your friends? Well, Luffy would understand that kind of stuff better. Well, he doesn't understand alliance properly. And alliance, because we saw how that with Law, where he thinks alliance just means the same thing as friends. But it's really not, and most of the time. Let's see. Yeah, so I have to point out, they have Roto with them, and they've chained him up onto a cross. And not only chained him up, I think they just want him to... I notice they like to keep chaining people up like this in here. And he's still got. He looks like he's unconscious, and Oda drew a little bump on his head from where Gerd and Goldberg hit him again. Uh, oh, that's a joke I missed. Oh, he is not quite unconscious because Haruden says the four of us are the new giant pirates. Or is that maybe one of the others say that? And Roto's like over there, like it's five. Yeah, I think they're gonna kick you out after what you did, bud. You're gonna have to really apologize and return all the humans you have captured. Jesus Christ, send them off with some gold, maybe. So we get a little interesting here. They bring up something that the Straw Hats didn't know about when we did through the different flashback. Haruden goes on pointing out, oh, when we heard about the defeat of Big Mom at Wano, even people here who don't know much about the outside world got excited. And the Straw Hat's like, what about Big Mom? And Gerd points out that she was Lin. She calls her like Linden. Oh yeah, they keep showing Sanji here just fawning over Gerd too, by the way. And this big shot here where the Straw Hats are all talking together, I just mentioned before. You see a shot of Sanji just having little hearts. You can see it's a tiny part because the focus here is on the new giant pirates. But he's not saying anything here. He's just got his little hearts with Gerd the whole time, looking at her. And so Gerd goes up, points out, like, Lillian was my friend once, but she did something that it's unforgivable here. But someone else stops him from calculating and saying, Haruden, let's save the stories for later. Let's have a toast. So, like, yeah, we get a nice big shot here, this hall here. This probably their dining, what do they call that? A big dining area. I'm sure there's a name, I can't think. So that, yeah, while Haruden and the others were greeting the Straw Hats, that Dorian Bragio, the one saying this, I think they're over there at the entrance of it and they're waving to like, hey, save that for later. Come on and let's have a toast. And all the other people here are cheering on this arrival. So Haruden must have really... Well, Shanks did some of that too, talk about the Straw Hat Luffy. Like, he did that at that one tavern that's down below, but I wonder if Haruden's been telling all these people in the village about him, because we see all these people here cheering and happy here in this shot. So yeah, Luffy the other's like, oh, okay, let's go eat. And they're getting ready to run over there when Robin stops them and says, Luffy, wait, something important I have to do first. So obviously she wants to see Saul. So we cut to a moment later when they're using that mist ship and traveling to somewhere else. So also I forgot to mention this one last thing. This village is called the West. I think they just called it the West Village. Yeah. And now they're heading to another place where Saul is. And some of the other Straw Hats decided they wanted to join. So who is that? It looks like Luffy, Chopper, Sanji, Zoro, and Jinbei are coming along. So who that means? Frankie, Brook, and Nami. Wait, who else? Nami and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What did I forget? Brook, Frankie, Nami, and forgetting what. They all stayed behind. And Robin's like telling us, well, you guys didn't have to come for this. It's just this. But then the other's like, wait, I want to see this guy too that you've always told us about. And let's see. And yeah, of course Sanji came because Gerd's the one guiding him there. And so she says Saul wanted to show us, wanted us to show Robin, always wanted to show Robin the library, so we're going to go take you directly to there. And then Luffy continues his statement about coming along, like, Robin, I have to, Bonnie's there too, I see her there, sitting with Robin. He's like, well, I have to give my greetings to the people who take care of my crew. So he's like saying, yeah, it's only right for me to see Saul because he's taking care of you. And Robin's like, oh, you remember stuff like that, do you? And we get a little flashback from we get a small flashback from oops, where the Haruden and Bragi are like, "Oh, you guys are gonna go see Saul now. Okay, we'll get the moose ready for you in the meantime. It should be ready when you get back." Oh, Usopp, right. I kept thinking that Usopp came along, right. So only Brook, Frankie, and Nami didn't come. Okay. But they don't show Usopp. They had the little thing with the bubbles talking. I didn't. So Usopp is the other one who came. And Usopp says here, oh, they're talking along as they're coming. They're floating along here along the. Okay, I see what this is. So let's stop here. This is cool. We don't see any real paths outside of the village that, like, if they walk or take anything like horses. They seem to just use these ships that can float along and then they can hover over the forest, and that's what they're doing here. They're going along there. It'll be interesting in the anime to kind of get an idea of how fast this thing can cruise along. So that's just, they're creating this stuff again. The thing is, how do they keep it there? Do they have to keep one of those cubes on all the time that it's conjuring clouds so they can float with? They don't show us any of that. We can just see that there's like a string of clouds, and there's like 3 oars. There were 3 oars total, well, 3 pairs of oars total before. But it looks like Gert's the only one leading them, so she's probably just sitting. It looks like the way they're doing it, she might be in the middle. Oh, it looks like someone else could be there. This is a far shot. And I only saw Gert right there, guiding with them. But anyways, they're having a conversation about learning, and Usopp's like, also the warriors like to study as well, and Gerd explains where he teaches, that Saul likes to teach history and discusses various books. Don't know what that is. She leaves that vague. And so now they arrive here, and we get this shot here. We get some more geography type like based stuff. First we see this 2-3-story. It's like a 3-story building tucked away on a very thick corded branch of the tree of the Yggdrasil. And there's some other buildings there too. And she comes, welcome. This is called the Warrior Spring, and over there is the Owl Library. So that's where Saul's probably got all the books housed away. Although it looks kind of small from the outside here, but maybe it's tucked further into the branch. And someone comments, "Oh, spring. It looks more like a beach." And they talk about, so we get a little something here. She's like, "Oh yeah, it's like a beach. It's formed from the trees that has been fossilized and worn down, so like erosion probably." And so it looks like just a big pool of water or a giant, And then there's waterfalls coming down too. We still don't know where the water's coming from. We see waterfalls from the wide shots, and it's filling into this big pool of water that's formed into a basin of one of the Yggdrasil's branches. So Luffy's getting a little too excited here, and he runs at. Oh, Nami is there. Okay, now I see Nami. Okay, I read this too fast sometimes, but so that means only Brook and Frankie didn't come. Cause I don't know if we saw them here. So Luffy's rushing out, and he's like, "Oh, let's go get Saul and go back." He's just because he's really hungry, so he probably wants to hurry back. But Nami stops him and is like, "Wait, we have to wait. This is Robin's reunion." And so Robin is walking away, and she's like talking to herself, like, "Oh my gosh, I'm not sure I'm ready for this. My heart's pounding away." So now another female giant comes running, and this is probably ties into what we saw earlier. Come on, stop that. Gotta stop pressing her. And she help! Someone help! Saul fell down. He can't get up. We saw a man, I think, comment on that in the other chapter. Where was that? I have to go back a bit. Oh, come on. Let's see. Go like this. Oh, right here. No, I mean that was the same one. You just only could see a face before. Wait, you don't see a face here? But it looks like it's a woman. It's got the legs loafing. No, is it? Okay, yeah, it is a woman with glasses, I think. Uh, anyway, he gets shot where the others all freaking out, like, wait, no, we came all this way and he's hurt. Uh, uh, and Chopper's like, oh, I'm a doctor, let me go see him. And Usopp's like, yeah, hurry up, it's all up to you. Oh God, Oda's really spending time on these little dramatic shots with the Straw Hats. Not dramatic, whether he likes drawing those faces, I think, with that, where they're all like, oh my God. And so they're near a shore there, another part of shore, and the other giant that came out says, uh, okay, so he's lying down in the shore. So this is what's going on. He's lying down in the shore, and Robin looks, and she catches on. So Saul's not really hurt. He knows Robin is there. So he must have had this giant play along. Because she's still being dramatic. Over there, he fell down. Or maybe he tricked her too. And Robin walks over there, and she's like, "Oh, I see what's going on. How stupid." Zoom this out a little bit. And Chopper's like, "Don't call a patient stupid." And Robin's like just smiling, and they're like, "Wait, what's going on here?" And she says, "Don't worry about it. I'm gonna go alone and say hi to him." Oh, okay. So one last thing, I was wrong. All the Straw Hats are here. In this shot here, I see Brooke and Frankie finally. So all of them came to meet Saul. That's real nice. You can see them all here at the shore there, and mostly in silhouette. But Frankie and Brooks are obviously really easy to see because of their unique designs. And so Robin's just like, "Don't worry, I got nervous," and she's like, "I just got nervous from nothing." And so what Saul is doing is he's playing a little gag prank because this is how they met the first time. He had she found out at the shore of Ohara. I forget what made him initially end up there. Was he running away from the Marines with Olivia? Was that it again? I knew I should have read that chapter this morning. Just got too busy. So he's recreating the scene. I do remember this specific spot where he was on the shore of Ohara, and she was outside the village. Obviously, she must have been. Maybe she had run away from her. She was being raised by her aunt and uncle who treated her. Remember, she had the kind of Cinderella thing going on where she was being mistreated by her family, and they were making her do all the chores and whatnot. And so she's going up to there, and you can see him peeking. He's trying to, he's waiting to see if she's getting close enough, and she's just sitting there waiting to see what he's going to do, and he jumps out and tries to scare her, jumps up and tries to scare her, going like, "Rah!" kind of thing, and she just stares at him like, "Yes?" Like, it's not going to work this time, and he's still like frozen like, "Shit, I thought that might work." And then he asks, like, "Are you surprised?" And he's like, "Not surprised." "Oh, okay." And he stops and stares at her, and he has a little glimpse. He remembers like how she looks so much like she did when she was little, but now she's smiling. It's cute. He showed a little picture of her flashback where she was kind of looking at him in confusion or concern back then, and now she's just smiling. And he's like, "Oh, Robin." And he's like, and he just is like, "Oh, I'm sorry about that. I just didn't know how I should meet you like this." And I said, "Well, it's clear you're not a kid anymore." I guess that means that part I forgot. He must have really scared her when she was a kid, and he thought he could do it as a prank. And he's like, "Well, I guess that won't work anymore." And she just like, "Oh, you still got that same laugh. I love it." And he's all, you can see here too, he's all bruised up from his, because Aokiji, right, was the one who froze him over. He's like, "Yeah, I got that left still." And he's like, "Oh, anyways, let me see your face." And so he's picked her up. Picks her up, and they're facing each other. Oh, God dang it! I keep pulling this too hard. And something really interesting here. He has a peg leg. I don't think we've had a character with a peg leg before. I heard one somewhere like Oda was having specific characters that had stereotype pirate things, and the first was is Crocodile, and he has he's missing his hand. I think it's his left one, and he's got the hook on there. He's Captain Hook, and now we got Saul, and his right, yes, his right leg is gone, and he's got a the peg leg thing on there. And so Saul. So, anyways, one last thing on that is I don't think we've had a character yet that wears an eye patch yet. So I think that's the three big ones. And also, I don't think we've ever had a character who carries around like a parrot. Those are all like the four big ones: the Hook, the Captain Hook, the peg leg. Was that the guy from Treasure Island? The one in that one had the peg leg. Who had the parrot? Which one is that with the parrot? Now I gotta go fresh up on my pirate stories. And we get a little title card that he's a former Marine Ice Admiral and Robin's benefactor. So Saul compliments her like, "You've become so beautiful. You look just like Olivia." She's thinking about her for a minute, and the last word she said about not giving up on the future you'll live in. So they're talking a bit here, and he's like, I heard some of Vegapunk's broadcast. Did you understand? Did you hear about that? You were there, so did you hear that? She said, I was, but I didn't get to hear much about it. What he said was reported in the papers. Well, they probably report it properly. So yeah, Saul here is basically complimenting, like he's thankful that Vegapunk, what Vegapunk said about how the words of Ohara should have been buried in history without being able to reach anyone, but thanks to Vegapunk, the voices were finally heard. And he didn't try to lecture about good and evil. I think, and let's see. No, he's trying to say, okay, even though he's a scientist, he risked his life to say it, right? And Ohara and Vegapunk, thanks to Vegapunk, Ohara's legacy has made a huge step forward. And she doesn't say anything much about that, and then she just checks his scars, like, does that still hurt? And he's like, okay, yeah, that's right, he was frozen. And he talks about what happened afterwards. He's like, I was surprised by my own survivability. I was, when I came to, I was floating out at sea, and it seems the fire from the island had melted the ice, and I fell into the sea. And a short while later, I was able to find out you survived. And he gets really mad, like, oh, those damn papers, they reported such horrible things about you. I couldn't believe they did that. And Robin's just like, that's okay, let's not talk about things like that. And this is where the chapter thinks is. He's like, Saul, I want you to praise me for being alive. And he's like, I don't get why she's saying it like that, I guess. But he's like, oh, of course I will. And he just hugs her. He like pulls her to his beard, I think, and they're like hugging, kind of. He's like, of course I will. You did so well being able to survive. And now they're like crying here. So he's like, you did great, Robin. You made it. You survived, and now you're here to see me finally. And oh, this is so cute. So he's and then while he's doing that, the other Straw Hats are just watching and not saying it. They're really far away, though. They're like a great distance away on top of some rocks watching. So we get this scene here where Robin's glowing from the hug with Saul. And we get a last bit of that flashback again where she was feeling at her lowest lows as a child and screaming to the sky, probably to her mother, like, oh, well, Saul too. She probably thought he was dead. That's right. She thought he was dead until they went to Egghead. So she's like, why do I have to live? Saul, mother, please help me figure out what good is my life now. I don't know what to live for. And she kept talking about how she wanted to die, which was the thing she said to the Straw Hats. And that's where Luffy, back at Water 7 was like, no, I want to hear that you want to live before we save you. And so they both break down and cry. We get a nice shot here where they're both, oh God, I am getting tears in. They both start breaking down. And she's like, I really wanted to see you again. And she's crying her eyes out. And Oda does it the same way. He's so good at making crying. He's got all the tears in it, some stuff out the nose. And he's like, me too. And I just hear them both bawling. And we see all the Straw Hats bawling now because of it. Oh, that's so cute. Because I remember we saw Frankie do that at Water 7, but not all, except for Luffy. He's just got that big grin on his face. But let's see, everyone has Brook, Frankie, Sanji, Nami. Oh, except Jinbei's still just standing there staring too. We don't see his face. But the other 6, was that 77, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wait, I can't count again. No, Zoro's not. That's right, who I'm missing. Zoro, you can hardly see him. The way drew him, I thought he was part of the landscape. The other 6 besides, and not Luffy, Zoro, and Jinbei, all crying their eyes out. And we only get to see, of the other 3, we only get to see Luffy's face just grinning away at being able to witness this. Oh, break next week. Okay, that's the end of the chapter 2. The New Era edition, December 23rd. Okay. Well, I got plenty to watch in the meantime. I'm actually a little upset by that, but... Okay, so this was a really good chapter. Like I said, Oda spent a lot of time with the flashback in the beginning to remind us of that, but... now I want to see Laura and get to see that library. I'm going to step back to, this was really a good scene with them together, but what I want to get back to is the interesting stuff with this area. So they had these new ships that allow them to fly around, and that's just really cool that they did that. When are they going to leave? I just realized too when they were flying the ship in, Goldberg, with the size of that ship, that smaller ship they're using, Goldberg was just holding had to hold up the Sunny still as they were transported to this West Village. Wait, didn't Bonnie come with the others? They didn't see Bonnie there. Wait a minute, that's something I want to see. Because didn't Bonnie come along with them to see Robin? Right? To see Saul? Let me see. Oh yeah, Bonnie was there too, but I don't think we saw her at that last shot. Maybe she stayed with that other giant, Gert and the other giants. Let me see that. Where are they? Let's see. So that's where that right there. So Robin went ahead. Yeah, I don't think we really properly see Bonnie in the rest of this chapter, but she definitely had come along too. The only one maybe only Lilith stayed behind because we don't see her. I'm pretty sure I don't see her at all in any of the other shots after they arrive at the West Village. Yeah, the last time we saw her properly was when she was mentioning the clouds and their coexistence together. Stupid chair so creaky. I gotta check that. Oh, I noticed Robin changed her outfits too before she went to meet Saul. She was still wearing a t-shirt and that shorts, and then she's wearing a one-piece dress similar to the one they were. So Oda was going for. She was wearing this thing. This is very similar to what she wore when Saul first met her. So Oda was just drawing her to have her wear the same outfit, so to make the reunion more complete between her and Saul. And of course, she's got her bangs cut again. So when he had this shot right here, you could just see the similarities. How now she's just grown up, but everything else is the same. And Saul looks like he's just dressed the same too. He's not wearing any of the Elbaf attire. Actually, he's got a black shirt on and shorts. And that's how you can see. And then his left foot though is like a ankle, calf, half length. What do you call it? Like a boot. And then he's got like the peg leg, of course, and he's still got a little hat on, and he's got his features. Other features are the same too. It's just got that scar. It looks like it's down his right side, so it starts with his forehead here and down here as well. So this was a good chapter. It's just like there's not as much to go over here because most of it's the focus is on the reunion, and also there's the water. So yeah, water's come from above. So is it like constantly raining or something above there? That's the thing I can't get my head around. Is what are the all out of all the other stuff that's so magical here, what's bugging me the most is where is the water coming from? Because every time he gets that wide shot of Elbath, you see three. There's three here, I think. Waterfalls coming out of the heaven realm, pouring into the sun realm, and from there, there's like 8 or so waterfalls pouring out various parts of the sun realm into the ocean. Actually, that one there looks like it might be pouring down into somewhere in the underworld. And you can still see the cloud there. Hopefully, they don't forget to put that away. Maybe that's why no one ever can get in there. Like the Marines don't have a way to fly their ships, and probably not everyone can do what Garp can with he got his ship up in the air at Folalette Island by punching in the air just enough to create to allow his ship to go up. So if he really wanted to, he probably could just make him have his a ship land up on the sun realm easily. But if other people can't, there's not much they can do. That the height up there, I doubt even some of their cannons could reach up there to do anything. So it's like this place is practically unbreachable unless they start trying to have bridges like to connect up there, like the one that the New Giant Pirates were using to reach that castle. They that might be like their base down below. So not much else to say here. It says it's great to see that the Straw Hats got all together, and we get to see what Elbath is a bit more like here. We still don't know anything else, so I want to know more about this. Something else that's been bugging me is I want to know more about Hiruden, and like he's supposed to be a prince here, but it's like you can see that no one's like treating him like, oh, Your Majesty, welcome back. Yeah, you didn't get to see anything like that here, but most of this was showing the other Straw Hats reuniting, and then Hiruden saying, hey, it's great to see you guys. But I want to know more. We're probably going to get that. There's probably going to be a scene soon with the party, the banquet they're going to have in honor of the Straw Hats, and maybe we'll get some stuff then that will explain about this stuff with the royalty, the lineage of who's going to run, who runs Elbath. And yeah, I think that's about it. I think I'll end this here. I'm glad that this was great to have this reunion, because now this reunion ended on a high note as well because of Vegapunk's sacrifice and the message he made. This was great to see the that Robin and Saul will now know that the people of the world will know more about what actually happened because of Vegapunk's message that the government won't just quietly, well, then quietly, but they're going to try and quietly pretend that there's criminals and their message didn't happen so that they can continue letting things go the way they are. Well, something else there too is there was something else too that was bugging me because Vegapunk was talking about the flooding of the world because it's going to continue happening, and then there was something with it was this Ethan, I think, well, the world, the elder was talking about at Elbath how they needed to cleanse stuff soon, and I'm wondering if that was like something related to this, where they're like worried about people finding stuff out, so they have to like depopulate kind of the world up to some degree somehow to make things easier for them or something. I don't know, but we'll just bask in the glow of this reunion here. And yeah, thanks for watching.